What's up guys, it's Crash, and in today's video we're going to cover all of the Battlefield 2042 Gamescom news. We're going to look at all the gameplay trailers that we got, break everything down, and just look at all the information that we got about Battlefield 2042. All right, well that wraps up all the news we got about Battlefield 2042 at Gamescom. Yeah, that's right, guys. There wasn't any. So what I want to do actually in this video is take a look at the two narratives that I'm hearing most. And one of those is, it's no big deal, everything's fine. And then the other one is, it's going to be delayed, it's the end of the world, the sky is falling. So I basically have not made up my mind yet. I lean towards everything being okay. I'm kind of an optimist. I want to keep it that way. Overall, no matter what happens, I'm just going to be enjoying the ride. It's going to be very interesting to see how this stuff plays out. I'm going to enjoy covering it and discussing it with you guys. But first off, I'm going to talk about the narrative that is, it's not a big deal, everything's according to plan. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about a few troubling things and why it could mean that it's potentially delayed, even though we have not got any official information about a delay or anything like that. And then in the comments down below, let me know on which side of the fence you guys are on. And you know, all this is in the context of discussion, and either way, we still got a new Battlefield coming in. It's going to be fun to see how all this stuff plays out. So first off, let's talk about why it could be no big deal at all. One of the things is all the marketing so far has been later. We didn't get anything in May like we expected. All the reveals and trailers came in June, and that paid off big. As you guys know, as we heard in the conference call, the last EA earnings call, it had the most engagement, the most views that they've had in a very long time on any game. It had a massive amount of interactions across social media and things like that. And it was not revealed alongside anything else. Also in a previous conference call, Andrew Wilson was asked why was the trailer late or later than in the past. And he said that they have determined that the marketing material being later fits their release window a little bit better. So possibly all of the marketing things are set back. It feels a little weird because out of the three big shooters, Battlefield is going to be the first one that's released, but essentially everything has been later so far. So we know, especially based on what Andrew Wilson said, that they're marketing this game a little bit different in the past. Also, another reason why it may not have been at Gamescom, COD and Halo were there, that maybe they wanted their own spotlight. They realized with all those interactions that they got in June that they don't necessarily need to use a game show that's crowded with other announcements to bring out Battlefield information. It's just something we've grown accustomed to as Battlefield fans. I would argue, this is just for me that's enjoying the marketing leading up to the games this fall, I think it would have been kind of an alpha move to just come in right after the COD beta and said, well, now that's cool, but here's Battlefield. It would have been kind of alpha, and I think it would have been kind of fun, but I get it from a marketing standpoint. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So another thing that might put everyone's minds to ease is Andy McNamara is the communications director for Battlefield, and he actually replied to someone on Twitter. Actually, Sylvester Folks, I believe, is a viewer of the channel. I've seen him in my comments before, so this is really cool. Shout out to Sylvester. He got a response from Andy, and it says, I know when things happen, I just can't share yet. We have more coming on social, and the open beta is in September, so we know the beta is still on track. We did Exodus and Iris this month, plus a ton of story building, which they did do a lot of stories. We are doing everything we can to keep the player community informed. Things just take time. So it appears that the beta, for all intents and purposes, is still going on in September. Pushing that up to a release window of October 15th seems a little sketchy. I would be reluctant to call it a beta at this point. I would see it as a playtest demo, pretty much, in my opinion. So anyways, that's all the stuff that leads us to believe that everything's going to be fine. Now, what is the stuff that has us a little bit worried? This is the delayed narrative that the game is going to be delayed, like what plays into people having that opinion. And pretty much the main thing is we still haven't seen extended official current build gameplay. In the past, Battlefields have had gameplay events where people have come in and played, celebrities, things like that. They've done multiplayer reveal events. They've shown stuff at Gamescom for a very long time. In a Battlefield release year, they've shown stuff at Gamescom. And we've just become accustomed to that, and we haven't seen it yet. So that in and of itself is just a little bit troubling. And also, if you look at the timeline, you have other shooters that are releasing this fall. Halo and Vanguard are actually releasing after Battlefield, but they are much farther along in regards to beta testing, revealing information about games, showing off gameplay. There's public tests going on right now for Vanguard. There's already been public tests for Halo, and us Battlefield fans are just chomping at the bit to get our hands on this game. Completely understand. And then honestly, the other thing, a couple of these I kind of added myself. These aren't widely talked about. These are just kind of my opinions. And we talked about this when they talked about crossplay and the technical test, that crossplay sounded kind of like an afterthought in the release verbiage when they talked about the lead up to the technical test, that they were going to test out crossplay. And it also has a little bit of limited functionality. There's no console only mode. You can't, if you're a console player, you can't just say you're an Xbox player, you can't just play with that same gen PlayStation player and get away from the PC players. That's a very commonly requested feature, and it seemed to me like a full fleshed out crossplay experience would have that, like other games do have. So that's a little bit troubling. And then the other thing that was very troubling to me was the technical test, the technical test didn't even work on PS5, so they didn't even have one. So if you have a build, even if it's a couple months old, that has fatal errors that doesn't even run on PS5, seems just a little bit troubling. And especially this all comes after the infamous quote from Laura Miele that this is going to be the earliest alpha ever and everything is ahead of schedule. So it kind of clashes with that narrative just a little bit. And then finally, the radio silence after the tech test, things were leaked. Everything's just pretty much shut down from the social media team over at Battlefield. But I would caution you that they did also do this in May. You guys know how crazy we were looking for a trailer in May and it didn't happen. They could just be stirring the pot again to come out with some really cool stuff next week. So my overall guess, guys, is I think things more or less are on track, and I really think they're going to reveal gameplay very soon and announce the beta on their own channels, along with the game changers, along with big YouTubers, Lossy, Jack Frags, Level Cap, Westy. I think those guys are going to get some gameplay to reveal and to show us and talk about, and then we'll get the beta dates then, and then we are going to jump into that beta, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to break the beta down so we can kick butt at that, and we'll play it, and it's going to be great, and I can't wait, guys. But that's pretty much all I had for today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is going on. At this point, it's just speculation for fun. We get to see how it all plays out in the coming weeks and months, and I just can't wait to get into this game with you guys and have a ton of fun. But anyways, we will catch you guys on the next one. Be a friend, tell a friend. Thank you so much.